2003, guys, was the very first release of the 1968 Mustang tuned version, and it was designed by Dwayne Vance. Now, along with all the 68s he released, there were 20 variations to find. So going back into 2003, we had our first edition Mustang, which was the 1968 in metallic blue. Now, when it comes to these first few cars, guys, there's actually 4 variations to track for the dark blue metallic. I only have 2 of them, but there is this one right here in particular. This was the very first release. On the base, it'll say 1968 Mustang. And then the second one is followed up by the Boss Haas. Now that one will actually say Boss Haas on the base with the Boss Haas Tampo. Then there's one without Boss Haas on the fender. And then there's a blue hood variation. These both have black hoods associated with them. So there's 4 variations just to the blue one alone. And like we mentioned earlier, there are 15 color releases, but over 20 different variations alone for the 1968. And then we get into the lime green. There's also another variation to this one. This one right here has a black base, which is listed as a lime green. Then you have the chrome base on a metallic lime green. And then there's another one, which I believe is also in this one with a chrome base as well. So there's 3 variations to the lime green one. And then going down the line, this is not in release order or any particular order, but there's a lot of variations when it comes to the 68. We have this one right here, which is the orange metallic. This one doesn't have the crane cams. This one doesn't have crane cams either, but it has the FTE wheels. So 2 different wheel variations for that one. You got the pink metallic, no crane cams, and then this one has crane cams on the fender. Now, a notable mention on the blue metallic is it actually has the designer's name underneath the crane cams. It says Vance right here on the fender. Very cool nod to the designer, of course, Dwayne Vance himself. Very cool stuff when you start looking into how many variations there are to certain castings. There's a lot. And then we have the purple metallic. This was out of 2012's Easter lineup. Very cool. And then you start getting into the retooled era, which was in 2017, which would have been these right here, the blue and red. Now, what made it different than the previous one before the retooling is the engine as well as the casting itself. So when you look onto the 2021 releases right here, you can see it is a 3-piece. You have the body, chrome bumper, and then the orange base, and then the engine. So they casted this as a solid piece, whereas the older one, you can see that the filters for the individual carburetors are not attached, and then they made it one solid casting. Because these filters were known to break off, I have a few in the collection that are missing the filters overall. So they changed that, and then as well as the body, it is now a 3-piece, where the engine, bumper, and exhaust are casted out of the same plastic. After that, we had the gold, the satin gold. That's the mainline version. And then you also had the super for that year out of 2018 right here, the Spectra Flame Gold. It's a little bit more of a dull color when you compare it to like the modern Spectra Flame Supers. This was a really nice bronze, almost a copper. Super cool reel riders on this one. You have the TH right here on the back. So that's the Super for 2018. Then moving on down, we do have a multi-pack car. This one actually, I believe, came out of the Flame series. When I do have multi-pack cars, I like to throw them in packages. That way they can sit with the rest and also just stay out of the elements. So this one was the lime green release. We also have a short card of the pink one as well. And like we mentioned, there are multi-pack exclusives, which we do have over here in 2 different packages. So this was a 2010 transitioning into 2011. You can see the Hot Wheels Flame update, but same exact cars out of the same series. They're both out of the tuned muscle. They just changed the packaging and card art a little bit, but this is the exclusive to that set. It is the yellow metallic, but we also have some honorable mentions: the GTO, the Corvette, the 1969 Z28, and then the Daytona. I really wish they brought those back because those were really cool. They're bringing back the Toon series, but more of the JDM era. And I believe that if Hot Wheels were to bring back the Muscle and Blown series, or even the 68, since we haven't seen that since 2021, I think it would resonate really well with collectors. We really miss this era of big body Mopars and big blown motors and all that stuff. So that is that multi-pack. And then we have another multi-pack exclusive out of the 2007 release of the 5-pack. Now this was released the same year, just 2 packaging differences. Now I don't know why Mattel does that, but they do it from time to time, and we've seen it here as well. So that is another multi-pack. We have every single release except for the orange. There's like a copper metallic. It's very close to the color shade of this, but a little bit different. So when you're looking at the overall 1968 release, there are over 20 different variations when it comes to different tampos, the base. Everything else is pretty much accounted for. There's no interior on these. The inside of it is basically just wasted space. Really the reason why a lot of them were frosted. Some of them, like this one, is kind of frosted. This one you can see through it pretty clear. I believe there's a variation to that one where it's supposed to be frosted. Mine's cleared out. I don't know, but I'll let you guys know on the screen if there is anything like that. But you can get your sources from Fandom or South Texas Diecast, but they haven't updated their stuff since, I believe, like 2017, 2018 timeframe. But they list a lot more variations than Fandom does. But for the most part, we have every color release except for the orange. And variations, we're still trying to track them down. I'm missing 2 blue ones, 1 lime green one. I believe I have all the pinks, and everything else there wasn't a variation for. So earlier on, when Mattel was really into putting variations and tampos and doing all that stuff, there's a lot out there. So if you have extras, I always encourage you, check over your duplicates, because you just never know what could be a variation. There's font variations on the base where they're bold or italicized or on a lifted platform. There's all kinds of variations out there. And anytime I find that stuff, or you guys let me know down in the comments, I love relaying that info because there's a lot of variation collectors out there as well. The largest one, of course, is Mike Zarnock. He's published a lot of books. I've learned a lot from paying attention to the details and finding variations, along with all of you guys helping me out as well. So huge thanks to Jenny L for posting that comment, wanting me to showcase the 1968 Mustangs. I'm really interested to see which ones you found, because they did mention they found some, and they really wanted to know what was all out there. So there's plenty to find for the 1968, and I want to say, I'm probably just going to guess, but I feel like you probably found maybe one of these, maybe a blue one. Those are kind of common to find out, like at traders markets or trade shows and all that. Especially these ones weren't really popular for 2021, but of course, you know, we're gonna bring them home. If they're ugly, but they're still gonna be in my collection. Now, as far as the Camaros, Jenny asked if I had the blown Camaro, and these are the only ones I have, except I do have one in my Camaro Jammer. Where's it at? Should be in this one. Yep, right there. So this one, I'm not too sure if it came out of a multi-pack or not, but this is the 1969 Z28. Beautiful red. I'd like to find more of these, but they're really not that common to find anymore. A lot of people either have them in their collection or they just keep them, because Camaros are just cool to keep. I love Camaros, even though they're the Mustang rival. It is what it is. I'm a huge Chevy guy. You can see right here we got some Novas. This is another notable mention right here. This is the Spectraflame mainline that was supposed to be for the Super. And then we have the regular purple metallic. So this one's not too common, but it is a variation. Some mainlines came out with the Spectraflame purple, and it's just the mainline. But I mean, it's very cool to have that one. We got some Nova variations as far as tampos. One is a Super Sport, one isn't. Very cool stuff. So I'm always going to be an advocate of looking over your duplicates. So hopefully this gave you a quick insight on the 68s that are out there. There's a lot, and here and there you'll see card art variations or color swings. Those are still kind of cool to add to the collection as well. So always double check your duplicates, your triples, whatever you have extras of. Even if you find them loose, just look them over. You never know, you might find one of those one-off variations. Kind of like this one right here. It's a wheel error, but it has the gray J5s up front. It's not supposed to, but it's still a cool car to have in the collection as far as an error goes. But yeah, so that is all we have for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. And of course, comment down below your thoughts and inputs to any other variations that I'm not tracking. I try to do as much research as I can to give you guys the most latest and greatest update information as far as variations in my collection and what I'm finding out there. But if you guys have it, let me know. And if you want to see anything else, any other Mustangs or any other type of variations, let me know. And we can probably make a future episode going over that kind of stuff. I love sharing that with you guys. So that is it. That is all we have. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell to stay tuned for all of our future episodes. And until next time, this is the Mustang Hunter. Peace.